The next story I wanted to share was 2019.
Okay, before
So
COVID.
this
Just
was,
before
yeah,
COVID.
this was the year before COVID. So I was just out of college. I graduated 2018, so it's 2019.
Freshman.
Fresh, yeah, yeah. Or I was freshman in life.
Yes, yes, yes.
Shakai freshman and Shakai Jane, do they have that freshman adult?
Yeah.
So I was working at the time with Crew, so it's a Christian missions organization. So I was serving on, this is the same, group that when I was a freshman really impacted me. So I was working with the same group. I was now that staff guy with the younger freshman guys and pouring into people's lives. At this time, something happened during my life during this time that I'll never forget. When I talk about my relationship with God and seeing God as a father, I experienced something really impactful this time. It all centered around a relationship I had with a girl.
Okay.
So there was someone at the time. So during college, we led Bible studies together. We went through a lot of things together. And she was, yeah, my closest friends at this time. We weren't dating, but I really cared for this person. Our lives had gone a little bit different directions after college.
Okay.
She moved to Korea.
Okay.
While I was still in the States. But even while she was in Korea, we were talking. We were on the phone having 3-hour conversations just about life and what's going on. And honestly, I'll say this: I really loved this person. I really cared for this person, and I felt, even though our paths were separated, I want to. I felt a deep, whether it's attraction, love, care. I wanted to date, and I hoped to marry this person.
Okay.
That was what I was thinking and feeling in my heart.
Okay.
It was probably, I'd had crushes before that, but this was the most, I think, intense I'd ever felt for another person. But of course, as I was thinking about this in my head, I was also praying. And I was praying to God about this relationship. And I remember one day I had an experience in prayer I'll never forget. As I was praying, and it was like I just had this image in my head. And it was like I was on a boat sailing in the ocean. And there's the cloud and the wind and the waves. And I was searching for the place to call home. I was searching for dry land. And so I'm on this boat. I see, peeking through the clouds in the distance, there's a beautiful island with a beach and a jungle, and the sun is shining in it. And I'm thinking, perfect, this is where I want to be. This is home. This is where I want to get to. And so I have in my boat, I have my paddles. So I'm paddling, trying to get to this island. But there's a storm going on, and the wind is blowing, and it's like I get closer but further away, and closer but further away. And suddenly I just hear this voice cut through the storm. It says, "Michael, I want you to put down your paddles and hoist the sails."
Okay.
And I think to myself, heck no. Why would I ever? That makes no sense. The place that I want to go is right in front of me. If anything, I should paddle harder, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would I, if I raise the sails,
The
the wind could take me anywhere.
Yeah.
It could take me right out the opposite way that I'm trying to go to. But the voice just says to me really gently, "Michael, who do you trust?" And then that was the end of it. But it felt incredibly clear to me what God was saying to me. I was pursuing something that I saw with my own eyes and thought was good. And I was trusting in my own strength to take me there.
Yeah.
And God was challenging me. Michael, do you trust me as your father? Can you trust me with your hopes and the things that you care about, right now in your life, the thing that you care about the most? And so I had that experience in prayer, and I had the sense of I need to surrender this to God and have open hands. So I was processing that. A little bit after that, so I said to God, like, okay, like, lift my hands, whatever you want to do, God, I want to trust you. A little bit after that, then COVID broke out. And I don't know if you remember this. It started in China, and then the first big outbreak, do you remember where the first big outbreak was after? It was like the first or second?
Europe?
It was in South Korea, in a town called Daegu.
Okay.
And that was where this person was living.
That's bad. Okay.
And so very suddenly, like, she got a plane ticket and came back.
She came back?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, like, God, did you just create, this
An
opportunity for us to get together? And so, so happy to see her again. And then I went, I confessed to her, and I said, do you want to go out with me? And she said, she completely and totally rejected me.
Okay.
And she had actually, she was dating another, she even started dating another person at the same time. And so as soon as I heard that, I felt like such a stab to my heart. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's been through.
I think
you've experienced, every man, that feeling,
it's
right?
It's a canon event for every man. Yeah.
And
not a laughing thing, but yeah.
Yeah, you've all been through the pain. And I used to think, like, no matter what happens in life, like, nothing can get me down, but this really, like, I had put so much, I don't know, hope in this. Like, it really, in a way that I never felt before. I felt, you were talking about depression earlier. I would call this maybe a short term. I don't want to compare to someone who has clinical depression, who lives with that every life. But there was a season where I just felt like I felt so much apathy in my heart, and every night for the period of time, I was crying myself to sleep. But at the same time, I was thinking about, that experience in prayer that I had, and I wanted to believe that, like, no, this is God's plan.
Yeah.
And so even as I'm experiencing this, even as every night when I was crying myself to sleep, I had this experience of, like, I was almost being hugged by God in a way that I can't explain, but I felt this comfort. And so there's a few months where I'm in this season, and then I had another dream at the time, which was to go to China.
Okay.
So with this missions group I was a part of, we have a connection in China, and so I'd spent 3-4 years at this time learning Chinese.
Okay.
I'd been studying Chinese and preparing. I had, raised a lot of funds, and I had just finished training, and I was like, okay, I'm going to China.
Yeah.
And so this is all at the same time COVID happens, right? And so that whole thing gets completely shut down.
That's bad, yeah.
So, like, this relationship doesn't work out. All this thing I was planning to do and working towards is gone in a minute. And then I found myself instead very randomly in Turkey. And, I had no desire to be in Turkey. Like, I knew nothing about this country. It's like, we can't go to China. We went to Turkey instead. And at the time I was reflecting back on this experience I had in prayer, because that was really powerful and helpful for me to deal with this. I think, even though this isn't what I planned, like, I believe that God has a purpose in sending me a different direction. But at the same time, I also wondered. I had some doubts too. Even as a Christian or a religious person, you have to say, like, oh, like, God spoke this to me. But, like, how do you really know, right? It could be, God exists and sent that, image to my mind and spoke to me. It could also be I just made it up in my head, right? As to something I was thinking about, And then psychologically, I made up that in my head, and then I'm believing it as a way to cope with something that's difficult.
Yeah.
Right? This helps me cope with that, so I want to believe it. I want to believe it's true. I was having the thought at the time. And then I landed in Turkey, and we had a team of people. So I met all these people for the first time. They don't know anything about me.
Did you go alone?
So I went with a team, but the team was all people I didn't know. So they were from all over the U.S., different parts of the country. We all got together, went to Turkey, and during one of our first days there, we get into circles to pray for each other. And as we're praying, my friend Kayla, again, she doesn't know a single thing about any of this. And she says, Michael, maybe this sounds really weird, but I'm praying for you. And as I'm praying for you, I'm seeing this image of my head, and I'm seeing you, and you're standing on a boat sailing into a storm.
Okay.
And I just have the sense that God wants to tell you that the storm that you're in, He sent you with a purpose, and He wants you to be faithful and resolute and to trust Him. And I immediately started crying because I couldn't, there are such things as coincidence, but I can't believe that's a coincidence. Like, it was so specific.
Yeah.
And I just felt such a kindness from God. Like, this was such honestly, this is such a small thing.
Yeah.
This is just, me in my personal life, like dealing with a breakup. Everyone goes through things like that. God has a million, more important things going on covering the world.
There are billions of people, right?
Right.
He has to take care of everyone.
Right. But He took this small moment just to comfort me and to tell me, Michael, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm your father. You can trust me. And something really significant changed in my life that day. Even though none of my circumstances changed, none of the, I didn't suddenly magically get married. Like, I was still in Turkey, but I had this sense of, God is with me.
Yeah.
God's taking care of me. He has a plan,
Okay.
and it's good.
Yeah.
And it's better than the thing that I think I want. I can trust Him.
Yeah.
And so even now, like, as I think about where I've come since then and the person I am now, like, I still have that dream of being married. I still have that hope. I still have that desire. But when I think about it, in the past, maybe I felt some anxiety. Like, what do I need to do to make that happen?
Yeah.
To make this relationship work? Now I just feel peace. Like my dad, my father will take care of me.
Yeah.
He knows what's good for me.
Yeah.
There's a final part to this story that is kind of cool, that just came recently, I realized. So I'm going to show you a picture. A friend of mine, I shared the story, and he drew a picture of it.
Wow.
So he drew this with his hand and said, and then gave this to me as a way to remember. He will come to Japan this summer. There's a possibility.
Oh, okay.
He's coming to visit. He's one of my best friends. There's one thing about this photo, I asked him, I was like, wow, like, that's great. Yeah, like, that's it. And I was like, what about, like, why, there was this bird in the sky here. Do you see that? Yeah.
I can see
I was like, why did you draw a bird? That wasn't part of the story.
Yeah.
And he said, like, I don't know. I just felt like it was the Holy Spirit. And I felt like I should draw it, like the Holy Spirit. I thought, oh, okay. Well, a couple years later, so a lot of things happened after this. So a lot of things I didn't plan for, right? I had this plan for my life, marry this person, go to this country. None of that happened. I ended up on a completely different trajectory, going through Turkey. I ended up so randomly, I say that, I mean by God's providence, met a Chinese couple who run a Chinese ministry here in Yokohama, who invited me, and then I ended up coming, being able to come to Japan, being a part of this amazing work, and then finding New Hope,
Yeah.
which is one of the most incredible communities where I feel like I'm really living out what I think God has for me in this community. And then I just realized one day, do you know what the symbol of the New Hope is?
But it's a
Yeah.
circular, it's a
Yeah.
circle and a bird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
bird.
Yeah.
It looks just like the bird that my friend felt inspired to draw on this. And so even there's a small little hint
Connection.
of,
Yeah.
like, oh, I can see God putting these small things in my story to show that things aren't random, they're not by chance. God is a part of it.
And that's your story, and now you are
That's my
living your
story.
life.
Yeah,
What's your dream, Michael?
it's my dream. My dream is very simple. I want to be faithful to God with every minute of life that I'm blessed to live. I think every day there's so many opportunities to, like you said, keep your eyes up, your eyes open to, who has God put around me?
Yeah.
To care for the people, to be someone that people can trust, to create community. I think what we're doing in New Hope right now, like, this is honestly what I believe in. That is my dream, to create community where anyone can come and be welcome, where you have a space, you can belong.